Hi, I'm Andrea Kwong, and I'm a financial aid counselor here at SCU. And I'm Stephanie Blanco. I'm also a financial aid counselor at Santa Clara University. So today we're going to talk about the financial aid overview and what you expect for your transfer student to have. So these are the things that we're going to be discussing today. So the financial aid office, the financial aid process, the types of aid, the award letter, and then things to keep in mind. So just a little bit about our office. So what we do is we do financial aid advising. We award, report, certify aid. We also administer the federal and state aid. And then we also monitor satisfactory academic progress for your students. The things that we don't do is we don't do billing or payment. So that would be through our bursar's office. And here's their information if you ever want to get in contact with them. Their phone number and their email address is right here. And then they can help you with assistance of payment plans, and also just anything about like refunds. So that's the office that you definitely want to keep in touch with, as well as a financial aid office. And then for any housing questions, we always encourage students to reach out to the Office of Housing and Residence Life. So again, here is their information if you want to contact them regarding anything about housing. Then we'll go over the financial aid process. So the first thing is that what your student did is they completed the common application. And then they also might have applied for the FAFSA, basically, to the federal aid. So they completed the FAFSA. So then what the government did is if the student did submit the FAFSA, they calculated the expected family contribution, or what we call the EFC. So the EFC is comprised of different kinds of aspects. So it has the income, the assets, the savings, state of residency, age of parent, number of taxes, the number of students attending college, the taxes, and other mandatory living expenses. So all these aspects are basically what's made up of the EFC. So the EFC is the amount of what the student and the parent are reasonably expected to contribute to the student's education. So again, if this is not the amount that the student is going to pay or what is expected, but it's basically an index. This index helps us determine how much financial aid we can give the student. So that EFC is also can change depending on all these aspects that are listed here. So for the next academic year, for instance, it could increase or decrease depending on, again, the income, or maybe there's students more attending college. So again, it could influx or decrease depending on all these. So then what the financial aid office did is that once we received the application, basically the FAFSA, we reviewed it, and then we reviewed it for any kinds of federal, state, and institutional need-based eligibility. And then we sent out our award letters via email. So if the student hasn't seen them, we do encourage students to log into their eCampus to view their award letter. So this is the award letter that will have everything that they're going to be eligible for if they decide to commit to Santa Clara. So here's the cost of attendance for 2021-2022. So the cost of attendance is made up of two things again: the direct cost and indirect cost. We always remind our students and families that they're only going to be billed for direct costs. So tuition, the university enhancement fee, and room and board. So these are all the amounts that are going to be billed to the student. And any indirect costs would be books and supplies, transportation, personal expenses. And at the end, we total the cost of attendance of basically what it would cost for the student to come to Santa Clara. It's at $76,497. This amount, again, you can find on our website. If you search for cost of attendance, that information is also listed there. So then we'll talk about the types of aid that your student could or would be receiving, be eligible for. So here we have the grants and scholarships. So these are awarded on basis of financial need, a service, and a talent. And again, anything that says grants or scholarships do not need to be paid back. So the institutional can be our SEU grants that we give. Federal would be any Pell Grants, the Federal Supplement Opportunity Grant, and the Cal Grant A or B. And we have also there's also other private scholarships. Now these scholarships are going to be outside from Santa Clara. So these are going to be your foundations or corporations that the student can additionally apply to. But again, these are outside of Santa Clara. And then if the student receives the SEU grant, so if it says the SEU need-based grant or SEU Bronco scholarship, these are going to be renewable for 3 years. So 3 years, we mean 9 consecutive quarters, so fall, winter, and spring. Unfortunately, this doesn't include summer, but the student can always apply for federal aid for the summer term. But again, these are going to be good for 3 years. So there's nothing additionally that the student needs to do. We just ask the student to maintain a satisfactory academic progress, meaning like a 2.0, and then also complete the FAFSA every year for any need-based grant. And we also let our students know that these grants, the Santa Clara ones, it will not increase. So they're not going to increase or decrease. They're always going to be the same amount that they were granted as they first were when they were admitted. And then something new that we have is called the SEU Transfer Scholarship. So this one, to be considered for it, the students had to complete a minimum of 30 transferable semester units, have a minimum GPA of a 3.0, and then complete the FAFSA at the time of admission. So these awards can range up to $5,000 to $10,000. Again, these are going to be renewable for 3 years. And if you think that you could qualify for these scholarships, you definitely could contact our admissions counselor, AJ Williams, and here's his information as well. And then we have listed here the community colleges that would be eligible for this scholarship.
Okay, and then in terms of need-based federal or state programs, for the federal programs, we have the Federal Pell Grant and FSEOG. Both of these are awarded based on the student's FAFSA and the expected family contribution, grants that don't need to be paid back. And in order to be considered for it each year, the student will want to do the FAFSA every year. And then for the state program, we have the Cal Grant, which is for California students, residents only, and it's administered by the California Student Aid Commission, or CSAC. And Cal Grant students will have to fill out the FAFSA each year by March 2nd in order to either get it for the first time or just continue to get their Cal Grant award. And our transfer students can get either Cal Grant A or Cal Grant B. It would just depend on the institution that they are transferring from. If they come to SEU, they will need to change the school of attendance on their web grants portal using our SEU school code listed there. And then if there's any other requirements that needs to be done other than changing their school of attendance, then our office will reach out to them over the summer. So we have our federal work study program as well. And so our FAFSA is required for this because it is awarded on the basis of financial need. It's a little bit different than other financial aid because it's not aid that's going to come directly off of a student's bill, but rather they will have to earn that money by working on campus, and they'll get a paycheck every 2 weeks. And even if a student doesn't have federal work study on their financial aid package, they can still apply for on-campus jobs. There's plenty that don't require federal work study. And for all of our student workers, there is a maximum of working 19 hours per week. So in terms of federal student loans, there are 2 different types, the subsidized and unsubsidized loans. So the main difference is that the subsidized loan, you do have to have demonstrated financial need on your FAFSA, and interest does not accrue while the student is in school. But on the other hand, the unsubsidized loan, you don't have to show any demonstrated financial need, and interest does accrue while the student is in school. And a student's financial aid package can be comprised of either subsidized and unsubsidized loans, or just purely unsubsidized loan, depending on their financial need based on the FAFSA. Some additional student loan information. This is the FAFSA federal loans. These are the maximum amounts that a student can borrow in an academic year, depending on if they're considered a dependent or an independent student for FAFSA purposes. So something important to note is that all transfer students are awarded at a first year level, and that's because their credits haven't transferred over yet. So we just give them the baseline amount. And then once all the credits have transferred over, then they can send an email to our one-stop office to request us to increase their loan amount to their respective grade level. And then we have the Parent Plus loan, which the parent would apply for on behalf of the student. There must be a FAFSA on file, and the student must be enrolled at least half-time, which is 6 units or more here at SCU, and it is a credit-based application. So to fill out the A+ loan application, you would go to studentaid.gov, create an account, and then fill out the application and do your master promissory note, which you only have to do once. And parents, when applying, you are eligible to borrow up to the full cost of attendance minus any financial aid that your student is already receiving. Or you can input a specific number if you know exactly how much you want to borrow for that academic year. And then once you receive it, the application and your master promissory note, then we'll be able to add it to your student's financial aid package. And then we also have the option of private educational loans. So this would be through like a bank or a credit union, and you would apply for these loans directly through the lender. And then once you're approved, then we will review your application for certification, and then we will add the private alternative loan to your student's financial aid package, and it'll be applied to their account along with all of their other scholarships and aid. So other scholarships that students can look into, as Stephanie mentioned, would be private outside scholarships that aren't affiliated with SCU. So these are some scholarship search engines that students can look through and apply for. And then also a new thing that we have is matching scholarships. So these are SCU matching scholarships. So students who have been awarded scholarships from local Bay Area community-based organizations can receive up to $5,000 in additional matching funds from Santa Clara University per academic year. And these matching funds are set in their first term of admission, and the student will need to provide as proof that they are receiving these local scholarships. And along with all the other SCU aids, this matching scholarship is renewable for 3 academic years, so 9 consecutive quarters, and the student has to maintain satisfactory academic progress. So a little bit about the award letter. So you might have received your initial award letter through the Slate application portal, but moving forward, all your award letters will be through eCampus. So once you log in, you can click on the financial aid tile. Then there'll be an accept decline tab, which will bring up your statement of educational purpose, which you will just click I agree. And then it'll pull up all of your loans, grants, scholarships, all of that. And then in order to accept or decline them, you'll want to click on the little pencil icon that you see. And then it should create a drop-down menu for each of your scholarships or loans. And then once you select whether you want to accept or decline the offers, then you will submit it. And we will notify students by email if there's any changes that were made to their financial aid package. So they'll just get a generic email that lets them know that they can view their updated award on eCampus, and they'll just have to log in to see the details. And then some final reminders, just to keep an eye out for any communication that comes from our office. So often that'll be coming from the onestop@scu.edu email. And we will contact the student directly if there's anything that needs to be done. So maybe changes to your award, or if there are any issues regarding your FAFSA that need to be resolved. And if you haven't filled out a FAFSA yet, it's not too late. You can fill it out as soon as possible. And then once we receive it, we will add any federal aid that you're eligible for to your financial aid package. And then just a final reminder to complete your FAFSA each year, especially for Cal Grant eligible students, since you have to do the FAFSA by March 2nd. And that concludes our presentation. Thank you so much. And if you have any questions, then please give us a call at 408-551-1000. Our phone lines are open Monday through Friday from 9 to 4. So give us a call anytime, or you can send an email to onestop@scu.edu. Thank you.
Thank you.